Everybody is, even if you have a service, if it has a clear lid, take a peek at it once a week. You just spent a lot of money on this in your backyard. Learn to kind of maintain it yourself. And then over time, that way you can either take it over or you can pay for the convenience at that point. Okay. If you want to, if you look in here and you're like, oh, there's a lot of debris, I want to empty that out. The system will be off or in service mode, which we'll go over here in a minute. And you want to turn these three valves to the off position. Okay. What that does is essentially it's like putting a straw in a drink and then putting your finger over it, lifting it up. It holds all that fluid in there. So you're holding all the water in here so that way when you open this, you don't get a big air pocket. Got it. Once you have those three closed, just kind of tap on that and pull that off. And you'll pull this basket out, and then you'll just kind of tip it over, tap it, knock all the stuff out. Yeah. It has a notch right here, and it has a thing right here that it sits in. When you put it in, make sure it does sit flush. Sometimes it'll float above it or not be lined up, so make sure it does go all the way flush. Okay. Get your hands wet, and wipe this ring off right here. And then you want to take a look at this O-ring and make sure there's no trash, grass, any kind of debris there. Okay. If you do see some stuff you can't get it out, you can flip it over, pop it out, wash it, and then it'll go right back in. It has a start line and a locked line that will line up with the plumbing. Okay. So to put it on, you'll line up start with the plumbing and go to locked with the plumbing. Got it. As soon as you do that, you'll open these three valves back up, and then you'll be able to turn it on and prime it all back up. Okay. Once water passes through here, it's going to come down here and run into your backwash valve. Your backwash valve is what runs out to your front garden out there. You see that little P-trap coming out of the ground? That's where this is going to dump water to whenever it goes into backwash mode. Okay. Your service will be backwashing it for you according to pressure, okay? Your pressure on your filter should be between 18 and 21 starting from a clean filter pressure, and you never really want to see it get any higher than 32 in normal pool operating mode. Once your pressure goes up 5 to 7 pounds from the normal starting pressure is when your pool service or you as a homeowner can go ahead and backwash. To do the backwash, and I'm going to cut these off just so I can demonstrate without losing any water here. You would just simply have everything off, turn this handle into that position there, which now instead of running water out and back towards your heater, it's going to run water down into this line, and it'll backwash. If you ever choose to do a backwash, you're going to do a backwash for approximately 45 seconds, or until this looks clear, whichever comes first. So one or the other. And then of course when you're done back, and at this point you would turn the system on. It would flood everything. You do it for 45 seconds, turn the system off, put this back into normal operating filter mode, and then you would cut it back on and you would add DE to the skimmer. Now the DE is in that bag over there that you brought out. That's your DE, or diatomaceous earth. Okay. And when you do a backwash, you're going to add about 2 to 3 pounds of DE. When you do a full filter clean, you're going to add 6 pounds of DE to the system.
So where do you add it?
So you actually put it in the closest skimmer.
In the skimmer.
While the pool's running, you're going to be putting this powder in there, and it's going to pull it through, and then you'll let it run a little bit longer just so that you know it gets in here, and then you can put it back into the auto mode, which we'll go over here shortly. And I do suggest like maybe watching the chemical guys every now and then if you're available to be around when they show up. That way you can kind of see their methods in doing it and see what chemicals and stuff like that as well.
Maybe we should set that up on a day that I'm home, or a time that I'm home.
They only do during the day.
Only the weekday.
Yeah, they do work early to late though, so and that's